What would you do if you woke up tomorrow and the grocery store shelves were completely empty? Not half empty, gone. Because right now, with everything happening in this country, the conflicts overseas that are quietly disrupting supply chains, ports backing up, shipping costs exploding, and the cost of basic groceries hitting levels that American families have never seen before, this is not some far-off scenario anymore. This is already starting to happen in parts of this country, and nobody on the news is telling you the full truth about it. Let me ask you something, and I need you to be honest with yourself. If the truck stopped delivering to your local grocery store for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, how long could you feed your family with what you have in your kitchen right now? 3 days? Maybe 5? Most American families couldn't make it past 72 hours, and that should terrify every single one of us. Here's what I need you to do right now before we even get into this list. Go to your pantry, open it up, look at what's in there, and I want you to type in the comments how many days you think you could realistically feed your family with only what's on those shelves right now. Be honest. Don't round up. I want to see the real answers because I think the numbers are going to shock all of us. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button because the information I'm about to share with you in this video could genuinely change your family's outcome if things get worse. And every sign right now is pointing to things getting worse before they get better. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because I care about this community and I care about your families. The prices you're seeing at the store right now, those are the low prices. Let that sink in. With global tensions rising, trade routes being threatened, fuel costs climbing, and farmland production shrinking across the country, what you're paying today for a can of food is the cheapest it's ever going to be again. A year from now, you're going to look back at today's prices the same way you look back at gas being $2 and think, why didn't I stock up when I had the chance? The families who are going to get through what's coming are not the richest families. They're the ones who prepared. And the truth is, you don't need a bunker. You don't need a survival kit. You don't need thousands of dollars. You just need to know which canned foods will keep your family fed, nourished, and strong no matter what happens out there. Today, I'm counting down the 10 canned foods every American family should be stockpiling right now, starting at number 10 and working our way down to the one single item that absolutely needs to be in your pantry before anything else. And I need you to stay until the very end because number 1 is the food that most people completely overlook, the one that nutritionists and actual survival experts say matters more than everything else on this list combined, and it could make the biggest difference for your family when it matters most. Oh, and one more thing before we start. If at any point during this video you hear something that makes you think of someone you love, your mom, your sister, your best friend, anyone, send them this video right now. Don't wait until later because later you'll forget, and this information is too important to keep to yourself. The more families that know this, the better off all of us are going to be. All right, let's get into it. Number 10. Canned tomatoes. Let me tell you something, if you walk into my pantry right now, you're going to see rows and rows of canned tomatoes, and there's a very good reason for that. Canned tomatoes are probably the most versatile food you can store. Think about it. Soups, stews, chili, pasta sauce, casseroles, rice dishes, they go into almost everything. A single can of diced tomatoes can become the base of an entire family meal. And here's what a lot of people don't realize. Canned tomatoes actually have higher levels of available lycopene than fresh tomatoes because the canning process breaks down the cell walls. So nutritionally, you are not sacrificing anything. They last on the shelf for 2 to 5 years easily, sometimes longer. And the price point is still reasonable compared to almost everything else in the store right now. Grab the diced, the crushed, and the whole peeled. You want variety because each one serves a different purpose in cooking. If you're only going to pick one type, go with diced. It's the most flexible. Number 9. Canned black beans. If you're not stockpiling beans, you are making a serious mistake. Black beans specifically are a powerhouse. They're loaded with protein, they're loaded with fiber, and they fill you up in a way that most canned foods simply do not. One can of black beans has roughly 25 grams of protein. That's almost half of what an adult needs in a full day. And when money is tight or groceries are hard to come by, protein is the first thing that gets expensive and the first thing families start cutting. Don't let that happen. Black beans go with rice, they go in tacos, they go in soups, they work as a side dish on their own with a little seasoning. A family of 4 can eat a real, filling, nutritious meal for under $2 if you know how to use these. Stock up heavy on this one. Number 8. canned chicken. Now I know some people turn their nose up at canned chicken, but hear me out. When you can't get to the store or when fresh meat prices are through the roof, which is already happening across America, canned chicken becomes your best friend. You can make chicken salad. You can throw it into soups. You can mix it into pasta. You can make chicken quesadillas for the kids in 5 minutes. It's pre-cooked, it's shelf-stable for years, and it gives your family the animal protein that beans alone can't fully replace. The texture isn't the same as fresh, I'll give you that. But when it comes to keeping your family fed and nourished during hard times, nobody is going to complain about texture. Look for the ones packed in water, not oil. Less sodium, cleaner nutrition, and they work better in more recipes. Number 7, canned coconut milk. This one surprises a lot of people, but trust me on it. Canned coconut milk is one of the most underrated stockpile items out there. It's calorie-dense, which matters more than people think when food is scarce. It's loaded with healthy fats that give you sustained energy, and it turns basic, boring food into something your family will actually want to eat. Take a can of black beans, a can of tomatoes, a can of coconut milk, some spices you already have in your cabinet, and you've got a curry that tastes like it came from a restaurant. It also works for oatmeal, for smoothies, for baking, and for soups. It lasts on the shelf for 2 to 3 years and takes up barely any space. People stock up on all kinds of things and completely forget about fats. Your body needs fats to absorb vitamins, to maintain energy, and to keep you full. Coconut milk handles all of that. Number 6, canned corn. There's a reason canned corn has been a staple in American pantries for generations. Kids eat it without complaining. It goes with literally everything, and it gives you carbohydrates and natural sugars that your body needs for quick energy. You can eat it straight from the can if you had to. You can add it to soups, chili, salads, casseroles, or make a simple skillet meal with some canned chicken and corn together. It's one of the cheapest canned vegetables you can buy, and it stores for years. Don't overthink this one. Grab a case every time you shop. You'll use it, I promise. Number 5, canned salmon. Now we're getting into the items that most families never think to stockpile, and that's exactly why you should. Canned salmon gives you something almost nothing else on this list does: omega-3 fatty acids. These are essential for brain health, for heart health, and for reducing inflammation. And here's the other thing. When supply chains get disrupted, fresh fish is the first thing that disappears or becomes unaffordable. Canned salmon lasts for years. It's packed with protein, and it's incredibly nutrient-dense. You can make salmon patties, you can put it on crackers, you can mix it into pasta or rice bowls. A lot of people only think of canned tuna, and tuna is fine, but salmon gives you a better nutritional profile, especially for families with growing kids. The bones in canned salmon are soft and edible too, which means you're also getting a significant amount of calcium. One can does a lot of heavy lifting nutritionally. Number 4, canned sweet potatoes. Most people don't even know these exist, and once you discover them, you'll wonder why you waited so long. Canned sweet potatoes are a complex carbohydrate that gives you sustained energy, not the crash you get from processed foods. They're packed with vitamin A, potassium, and fiber. You can mash them as a side dish, you can add them to soups and stews for thickness and nutrition, or you can even make a simple dessert with some cinnamon and a little butter. They're naturally sweet, so kids love them, which every parent knows matters when you're trying to get your family to eat what you've stored. If the day comes where fresh produce isn't available or isn't affordable, sweet potatoes from a can will give your family nutrients that rice and beans alone can't provide. Number 3, canned green beans. Green beans might seem basic, but here's why they're this high on the list. When you're eating a lot of canned food, the biggest risk to your health isn't calories, it's the lack of green vegetables. Your body needs those micronutrients, the vitamins and the minerals that only come from vegetables. Canned green beans give you vitamin C, vitamin K, and folate. They're extremely low calorie, which means you can eat a lot of them without it affecting your other food supplies. They balance out the heavier items like beans and chicken and keep your digestion moving properly, which honestly nobody talks about when it comes to emergency food, but it matters more than you think. A diet of only starches and protein with no vegetables will make you feel terrible within a week. Green beans prevent that. They're also dirt cheap and last forever. Number 2, canned soup, chunky varieties. Here's why chunky canned soup is number 2 and not lower on this list. It's a complete meal in a single can. You've got protein, vegetables, broth, and carbohydrates all together, ready to eat in minutes. On a day where you're stressed, exhausted, or the power is out and you're working with limited cooking options, being able to open one can and feed someone a full meal is worth more than people realize. Chunky chicken noodle, beef stew, vegetable beef, these aren't just comfort food, they're survival food dressed up in familiar packaging. Stock a variety because food fatigue is real. When people get tired of eating the same thing every day, they stop eating enough, especially kids. Having different flavors of something warm and filling keeps morale up, and morale matters when times are tough. Don't grab the thin, brothy ones. Get the chunky, hearty varieties that actually have substance. Number 1. Canned peanut butter or shelf-stable peanut butter in jars. And here it is, the number 1 canned food or shelf-stable food that every single American family needs to have stocked and stocked deep. Peanut butter. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't come in a can. Some brands actually do make canned peanut butter specifically for long-term storage, and regular jarred peanut butter lasts 1 to 2 years easily past its printed date. But here's why it's number 1 above everything else. Calorie for calorie, peanut butter is the single most efficient survival food in existence. 2 tablespoons give you nearly 200 calories, 7 grams of protein, and 16 grams of healthy fats. It requires 0 cooking, 0 water, 0 electricity. A child can eat it straight from the jar. You can put it on bread, on crackers, on apples, on celery, or eat it with a spoon at midnight when you're hungry and nothing else sounds good. It provides sustained energy for hours. It's one of the few foods that genuinely keeps people going when everything else runs out. And right now, while it's still available and still affordable, there is no excuse not to have at least 5 jars in your pantry at all times. This is the one item on this entire list that I would grab first if I could only choose one. That's how important it is. So there you have it. 10 canned foods every American family should be stockpiling starting today. You don't have to do it all at once. Grab 1 or 2 extra cans every time you go to the store. In a month, you'll have a real stockpile building up. In 3 months, your family will be more prepared than 90% of the people around you. And if nothing bad happens, you just saved money buying food at today's prices instead of tomorrow's. Share this video with someone you care about because this information could genuinely help their family. And if you got value from this, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to keep sharing what I'm learning about getting prepared the smart way. I'll see you in the next one.